welcome to another episode of Re-Establishment. Bodie DeAndre here. Listen, I've been so excited about this one today that I want you to stay with me, because no matter who you are, whether you're young, medium, or you're old but you think you're still young, this is for you. Everybody can benefit from what we're going to talk about today. We are in a new era as far as how we in America look at sourcing our food and our sustenance. I believe that you shouldn't wait and depend on a few large companies to grow your food, or the government to say what you can or can't have, but you can grow your own food and do it in your own backyard, in your house, in a common area. If you live in a gated community or a small subdivision, there's usually common areas. You guys can band together and grow your own food. We're going to tell you how. You're going to enjoy it. Watch this. Today with us is Eric Gonyon. Not only is he a great guy, we are personal friends, so I got to clear the air up front. Yep, he's in the circle of love, and he is a good friend of mine. He has a Land's Delight farm in Central Florida, and they're going to teach you and show you how to grow and source your own food from seeds to the table. And you really want to pay attention. Eric, so good to have you.
And Bodie, thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for having me on. It's great. This is a passion. So
yeah, it's a passion for me too. And I will say again, full disclosure, that I took my family to your farm.
You did.
And we spent several hours there. And I was even more impressed than I was with your website and your Facebook, which are fine.
Sure.
But until you see it in real life, and then I may add, we took the free class that you do give free classes on Saturday.
Saturdays at 10:30.
And so I learned stuff, even though part of my family has been ranchers and growers for 3 generations.
Wow.
And coming to your place, I still learned. So welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, tell everybody how you got started in this so that they know that wherever they're at in life, they can start this.
Thank you, Bodie. You know, what's funny is, I always start my free training classes. I do free training classes. We're a Land of Delight natural farm. We're a self-sustainable, no chemical, no pesticide farm. We're an animal rescue farm. We rescue animals. We do a lot of different things. But I always start my class, and it's pretty humorous. I'll say, my name is Eric Gonyon. This is my backyard. I'm going to show you how to grow your own food, but I just need to let you know I've never grown anything before in my life. And they're like, wow, this is great. I'm going to learn from some guy that does. And, I think that's where I come from. I have no farming experience, no growing experience. So those people that say, man, I don't have a green thumb. If I tried to grow something, it died. That was me. I don't come from a farming background, but I had a desire. Here's the deal. How did I start my farm? Here's the deal. I wanted my kids to know milk came from cows and eggs came from chickens and not the grocery store. And that's it.
Yeah.
With zero experience. And then I didn't, and I've traveled the world. I've been in 85 countries. So I understand a lot about what's happening. And I understand a lot of things are genetically modified, a lot of chemicals, a lot of pesticides, a lot of things like that. And I didn't want my family to eat those. And I thought, well, if I grow my own food, I know what's going in it.
Right.
And that's basically how we started about 11 years ago.
So your farm has only been in existence 11 years.
Yes.
And by some people's standards, it's a large parcel of land. Mm-hmm. But by major farming, it's not.
Oh, exactly.
It's just a few acres. And I will say this, that even though that's how you started, you have done your due diligence. So I do know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So that's how you got started, but you're not there now. And so you're really, in a short period of time, your passion for this took you to really study and learn.
Absolutely.
You want to help other people not hit some of the pitfalls you learned early on to make it more efficient. I think that's the word, is you can grow right from the start, but to be effective and efficient, there's some things you have to know.
Well, you're right. I did study a tremendous amount, and I learned, and I did practical work and practical knowledge. But here's where we differ. as far as other growers out there. I'm a small farm, but I come from the avenue. Everybody can grow their own food. There's no excuses. Even if someone's in an apartment, if somebody has a teeny little 0 lot line, somebody, a lot of times people think I don't have 10 acres. You don't need 10 acres. You just need a desire to grow. There's so many different ways to grow your own food, but I grow with no chemicals and pesticides. And I do a method of farming called nutritional farming. People have heard of organic farming and all these other things. Nutritional farming is where you look at the soil. We do aquaponics and other things, but you look at the nutrients in the soil so that your kale, your chard, your lettuce, your carrots have nutrients in it. Because what a lot of people don't know is you go back 75 years ago, one apple 75 years ago, you would have to eat 10 to 25 apples today for the nutritional benefit of one apple.
Wow.
Because our soil...
Say that again.
Yeah. So one apple 75 years ago, the nutritional value of that apple, if you fast forward to 2025, you'd have to eat 10 to 25 apples just to get the nutritional value, because our soil is depleted. They just put 3 minerals in it, or three NPK, and they overwork the soil. So what happens is they're into production or producing tremendous amounts of fruits and vegetables, but they're not into the nutritional side of things. Yeah. And when you eat living food, you have more vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. So when you grow your own lettuce and you do nutritional farming, our whole thing is building soil health. So when I teach growing, like in soil, your traditional, here in Florida, you're growing at the beach. It's the beach, right. It's sand. There's hardly any nutrients in it. So we do raised bed gardens, vertical gardens, but we build soil health so that we put trace minerals in soil, lots of different things. And so that when you do eat a lettuce or chard or broccoli or whatever, that it actually has vitamins and minerals and nutrients in it, which makes your body healthier. A lot of people don't realize that organic, I eat organic, obviously traditional, I believe there's conventional and organic. Organic obviously is better for you, but organic is not necessarily always chemical free. It's approved sprays.
That's true.
Some of it's coming from other countries. So I think the only way for someone to really know what they're eating is to grow it themselves. And that's why you say local farm to table. But everybody could grow some lettuce or some carrots or some broccoli.
Funny story. My wife, one year for Christmas, bought me one of those grow things that you put in your kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
That had the little
like a
light
hydroponics,
on it. Yeah. And I grew my own lettuce for about 6 months.
Wow. Just
as a fun thing to do. But I did it in my kitchen on my countertop. You can do it.
It is. When we were in New York for a long time in a meeting, and my kids, we lived on the 6th floor for 2 months in New York, we would go down and we would buy lettuce and chard and stuff and just cut the top of it and eat it. And my kids, without me telling them, put all the bottom of the lettuce in glasses with water and put it on the window ledge and grew all of our lettuce 6 stories up. So you can do it.
Yeah.
If you have a desire to grow your own food, it's amazing.
Have you been able to source good seed?
Oh, absolutely.
Because seed is, you don't want modified seed.
You want heirloom, non-genetically modified seeds. I have, and I obviously sell those also, but I've sourced them. But here's actually the secret. And we were talking earlier before we came on about self-sustainability.
Yeah.
Here's the secret. When you grow something, you let one of them go to seed and you harvest seeds and you create a seed bank.
Yeah.
So if you grow broccoli, one of the broccolis you don't eat, you let it go to seed, okra, and then you store those seeds so next season you have seeds. So you can become self-sustainable. Yes, you have to start with an heirloom, a non-GMO seed, but then you can have a seed bank. And it's a lot of fun. Growing is so fun. To put a seed in the ground, and then, like some people say, oh, my kids won't eat vegetables and stuff. If your kids put the seed in the ground and they see it grow, they're going to want to taste it.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Yeah. So here's what's interesting. I've always, because I was born and raised in Florida, and I'm one of those guys that likes to be in the outdoors. And so I'll go out and just start eating stuff out of the woods. I've done this my whole life, and I've had to be careful because a couple times mushrooms I don't touch because I don't know them. But berries and different things like that. I've always been the guy that would go palmetto hearts, and I know there's regulations on some of that stuff now, but not when I was a kid. And I just think like you just said, for little kids and young people to be able to see. Now, let me ask you a question. Let's say somebody today wants to say, if I could grow only 5 things, I have limited areas in my backyard, my house, my back porch. If there's only 4 or 5 things that could transform my family nutritionally, what would you recommend?
That's a good question. First thing I would say is the easiest thing to grow is fast-growing grafted fruit trees. There's native fruit trees wherever you are listening to this podcast.
Whatever growing zone.
Whatever growing zone that you're in, because United States is broken down into 11 grow zones, and we have charts for that on our site and stuff like that. And then let's say, lemons, limes, oranges, tangerines, mangoes. Like here in Florida, mangoes are huge. Mangoes are everywhere. We have mangoes everywhere, avocados. So fruit trees are easy because you can use a long-lasting fertilizer in the ground, and they look beautiful and they taste beautiful. So, and then I would say kale. Kale is a superfood. Kale is so easy to grow, and it tastes great. You can make kale chips in the oven. You can do a lot of different things. So I would say some sort of leafy vegetables. Spinach is a little harder to grow in Florida because it's so hot, but I would say your kale, your chards, your broccoli, carrots. Of course, if you're in Florida, if you happen to be from Orlando South, moringa is the number one thing I grow.
I was actually going to hit you up on moringa.
Yeah.
It is probably one of the number 1 survival foods in the world.
Absolutely.
Like the whole plant. Whether it's the roots, the tubers, the shoots, the seeds, the leaves. You can eat the whole thing and actually survive.
Moringa is the first tree I ever planted.
And it grows quick.
Yeah, and it's a drought tree also. It's from Asia and Africa. It has 9 times more iron than spinach, 7 times more vitamin C than an orange, 2 times more potassium than a banana in the leaf.
Wow.
And then also a lot of people don't you can eat the leaves, drink water, and sustain life. That's how it's the most nutrient-dense tree that exists. But a lot of people don't know the seed pod.
Yeah.
When you put the seeds in water, it pulls toxins out of water. It was nicknamed hundreds of years ago the miracle tree. Everything about the tree is miraculous. I even cut it, I hedge it, I grind it up, I put it in my soil to build nutrient health. I use 1 part, I put the leaves in a blender, I grind them up, make them a liquid, 1 part moringa to 10 parts water. I use it as a foliage spray and a pest or a bug repellent.
Wow.
Moringa and I feed it to my animals, my chickens, everything, and my aquaponics, to my fish, to my tilapia. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, that is a good one. Something else that you do that I liked when you talk about citrus, because citrus is so good for you.
Yeah.
Is that you do grafting.
Oh yeah.
So you have one. I'm going to buy one eventually. I wasn't ready the day I was there because I've got some restrictions where my house is.
Sure.
But you have lemons and limes on the same bush, and that thing can produce fruit within a year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's called a medley tree. And just the quick definition of citrus, I call it fast-growing, grafted fruit trees. Simple. Most people, long time ago, you'd put a seed with 3 toothpicks over a glass of water and it would sprout.
Right.
They teach you that in school. If you put a seed in the ground from an avocado, for example, 10 to 13 years until you get fruit. If you take an avocado and it's a grafted avocado, within 5 years, you'll start getting fruit. What's the difference? The simple definition, very simple definition, is you put a avocado seed in the ground, let's say it gets up 4 feet, you cut it towards the bottom of it. Then an avocado tree that's already producing fruit, it's already proven to be disease resistant and producing fruit, you cut off a branch at the same diameter, you graft it in, so avocado, citrus, mango, and then it takes on the characteristics of the mature tree. A lot of times doesn't even need a male and a female in most cases, and it produces fruit faster. What you're talking about is with the citrus stalk, I could actually have 9 different citrus things coming off of one root source. So I could have a lemon, a lime, and an orange. Lemon, lime, orange, pomelo, all on one tree. It's called a cocktail tree. Imagine someone coming to your house and then get lemons on one side, oranges on one side. It's cool, yeah. And it's grafted. I only sell and only produce grafted fruit trees. I don't do any other ones.
You mentioned hydroponics.
Oh, yeah.
And I know for a fact that you did your due diligence on that you were trained by a guy who did this as a ministry around the world in different countries. Actually, one of them in Haiti for CTN.
Actually, it all started with CTN.
Is that
me.
right?
Oh, yeah. It was 2010 with your dad, Bob DeAndrea. We went to Haiti. There was a terrible earthquake in Haiti.
That's
we were
right.
his first responders over there, Dr. Rodney and myself and you guys. And there was a ministry over there that fed 4,000 orphans off an aquaponics system on solar. I was so impressed. I hadn't had my farm at that time, and I had this desire to start growing. I didn't know how to do it. And then I went to school for the people that built that one.
Correct.
And I learned aquaponics. But then I designed my own system, developed and designed my own aquaponics system, thinking about backyards and communities of people that maybe don't have a lot of time. And I made it real simple. I call it aquaponics made simple. And you have the tilapia, you can eat the fish, you can eat the plants. It's a soilless system. And when you eliminate the soil or the dirt, you eliminate a lot of the problems, you eliminate a lot of the bugs. And I love aquaponics. I love it.
Yeah, so I was really impressed with what you've done. So you took one tank, and so all of these are modular.
Yep,
They all fit on a standard wooden pallet size pallet type of thing. And so you can, if you had to move, you can put this on a truck and move if you moved
It's
houses.
actually on a 275-gallon IBC tote, which has a pallet built into it. It's what's used on. It's amazing. And they're only weigh, when they're empty, 125 pounds or 60 pounds, depending on which one. And so if you move, you just let the water out and you take it with you.
And the material you use is resistant to fungus and mildew and all that kind of stuff.
And I wrap it with 60% Energy Star rated aluminum so it can actually be outside. So it can actually be in your backyard or in a community. It doesn't have to be in a climate-controlled greenhouse. And it's amazing. I love it. And you think about it, you can eat fish, you can eat the plants, it's self-sustainable. And then I use tilapia because tilapia is a self-sustainable fish. When the mom lays the eggs, she lays about 800 eggs. She holds them in her mouth. She actually sucks all the soft gel eggs in her mouth, holds them in her mouth till they hatch, and then opens her mouth and they come out. So you actually have fish reproducing in the tank. And then so you can eat fish, you can eat plants, and it uses 95% less water to grow.
And it's about, what, 90 days for the fish to turn?
Yeah, well, fish, a tilapia takes about 9 months to get full grown.
9 months, okay.
9 months to get full grown, up to 1 to 2 pounds. So you can eat the fish, the big fish, let the little fish come up. And then their liquid waste is converted to fertilizer or NO3 by good bacteria. So we designed the system so that you don't even touch it. You feed the fish, you turn a valve, all the waste comes out, and then that waste is liquid fertilizer, fish emulsion. You put it on your garden, your plants. So what's terrible for aquaponics is liquid waste.
Right.
But so it comes out, and what's great for growing your trees and your vegetables and stuff in the dirt is this is fertilizer. So you have the instant fertilizer factory.
Yeah, because your roots, your potatoes, radishes,
they need all that.
Yams, they grow in the dirt.
They grow in the dirt,
and so you just take the fish waste that is too heavy and you put it in there.
Right, and you don't want it in your aquaponic system. And the water's clear. The fish are swimming in clear water. The plants filter the water.
Amazing.
Aquaponics is cool.
So I want to talk about one quick thing.
Okay.
And then we'll tell people how to get a hold of you. So lasagna farming.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So this is why anybody in their own little piece of land can make this work. Talk about that.
Okay, lasagna gardening is layer gardening. It sounds like lasagna. Who wants some lasagna now? You know, lasagna. So basically, we do what's called vertical or raised bed gardens. And you have grass on the ground, so we don't use Roundup or we don't use any type of chemicals to kill grass. You put cardboard down. The cardboard is going to smother and kill the grass, which creates a microbial highway. Then you put organic soil down with all the nutrients, a mix in it, trace minerals and everything. Then you plant your seeds or your plugs in there. So you have cardboard, you have and then usually we put logs or leaves, compost.
Sticks
Because you need that organic material to break down and die. You want stuff to die like a forest, so you have organic material growing. Then you put organic soil. Then you put the seeds or the plugs in, and then you cover it with oak mulch, not the green and blue stuff at the store with dyes in it. And then we do irrigation with it. So we do everything in growing comes down to two things. It comes down to soil health and water management. Yeah. And so then we layer it, and then the mulch holds in the moisture, especially in Florida, so that if you go to a forest, It's designed after a forest. It's called lasagna garden or back to Eden gardening or layer gardening. If you go to a forest and walk through the woods, it's all crunchy and looks all dry. But if you get past all the dead leaves and stuff, the soil is beautiful, black and moist, and has worms in it. So that's what it mimics. And then we put that in a raised bed gardening, and we have trellises, and you can do vertical gardening. So even if your soil is not good, which most of the soil is not really that great, you build your own soil health. And then when you let's say you grew something, okra or something, when you go to plant the next thing in there, we don't pull the whole thing out. We let the roots die in the soil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't pull the whole thing out.
Right.
And so that you always have something dying. You have microorganism highway, and you're building soil health. Because remember, nutritional farming, there's a saying that I always say that's so important. Everybody's heard you are what you eat.
Right.
But it's you are what you eat that it eats. Okay.
That's a good word.
Yeah, because the quick example is a chicken. If you have a chicken, we have 300 chickens. We do pasture-raised eggs and meat birds and stuff. But if a chicken's running around your yard and you go down to the store and get a bag of feed, and it has antibiotics, hormones, steroids, it has genetically modified seeds in it, and it's been sprayed with pesticides, then if that chicken eats it and you eat the egg, you are what you eat that it eats. Yeah. Go to a plant now. If your soil is nutrient deficient or has chemicals or pesticides in it, or whatever, or it doesn't have any minerals in it, like the apple example, then the roots of your broccoli, the roots of the carrot are not getting the right thing. So if the soil's nutrient rich, then your carrot's nutrient rich, your lettuce is nutrient rich. So everything comes down to nutritional farming. Yeah. And then when you eat it, it's living. When what a lot of people don't realize is that an apple can very easily be picked over a year ago. Hard squash 6 months ago. A cucumber that you buy at the store is 3 months old usually, and it's got wax on it. You think the wax is why? I always thought it's just so it shined in the light and looked great. It's a preservative. Yeah. So think about it. How many vitamins and minerals and nutrients do they lose after 3 months of sitting on the shelf? And then the last thing is, a lot of people don't realize tomatoes aren't picked red. Right. They're picked green and hard. Yeah. They turn red from all the nutrients in the soil in the soil coming up. They use ethylene gas, and they have refrigerator trucks. So if it comes from Texas to Florida, they set the ethylene gas on a timer, and they're hard and green. But by the time they get to Tampa, Florida, they're beautiful red and ripe because ethylene gas ripens them. So everybody needs to get educated on these things so that you can have healthy food for you and your family. And I always say this: you can make your greens come true.
I like that.
So even if you've never grown before, we can help you. We can teach you. We can teach you how to have your own.
So where do people find you?
Thank you. My website is A Land of Delight, DELIGHT.com. All of my Facebook and Instagrams are like facebook.com/A Land of Delight and DELIGHT. And then we do a lot of videos and tutorials. We have a YouTube channel called A Land of Delight. And we have a passion. We don't charge for any of these things. You have an animal rescue farm. We rescued a police horse just recently, a 20-year-old police horse. We have a petting zoo where people can come, and there's no charge for these things. And obviously, people buy things and we fund things, but people can come and see baby lambs and goats. We have tortoises, we have llamas, and people can come and have a family experience. But alandofdelight.com is where they would go for any information. And we even have a free gift, where if people want a newsletter or something, they can sign up at our site, and we'll talk about these things like a grow zone chart. What do I grow? When do I grow it? How do I work my soil? How do I water? How do I have too much water, too little water?
How do I get rid of this?
This bug.
Pest or bug. Or
like there's natural ways to treat bugs. If you go back 100 years ago, not everybody was spraying with all these poisons.
Yep.
And how to get rid of aphids, white flies. We can show you natural ways to do that. It's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Alandofdelight.com.
Very good. And I want to close with this. Everything we've talked about is so exciting and it's fun. To me, gardening and being with critters and animals is just very, very fun. But that's not really all you do. You've done this to really do what is in your heart.
Yes.
And you're a pastor.
That's true.
As well. And you do this at the church that you pastor at. You have the Eden Project where you're feeding homeless, you're feeding the people in your church. So you've taken this passion for you and your family, and you're now converting it to feed others to feed, hopefully, in the near future, actually source food for restaurants and businesses around the church, for people within the church. I think that speaks a lot to this isn't just for fun and play. There's an internal thing here where you are trying to legitimately help others be the best that they can be and to find God.
Amen. That's right. Well, we, obviously we've been at the River at Tampa Bay Church with Doctors Rodney and Adonica for 28 years. We have Operation Eden, which is sow, grow, educate, duplicate. It's not about what you can do. It's what you can duplicate and what you can train others. And we don't charge for any of these things because we want people to do it themselves and have fun.
Yeah.
And it is about people. It is about helping people. But if you study it out, a lot of people are getting sick from processed foods and things that they're eating. We also have a nutritional side. We all have a tremendous side of health that we try to teach people. When you're in the inner city and you're dealing with very poor people, obesity, diabetes, all the different things, people need to be educated on these things. So our heart, I've traveled to 85 countries of the world. The last 15 countries in Africa I went to, all were in a food famine. Yeah. In America, we're blessed. You got Uber Eats, you got Amazon Prime, you can get anything you want at any time. But the rest of the world's not really like that. And I'm not a doomsday person at all. At zero, I'm very much an optimist, but 1 week of the trucks not running in America, life as we know it changes forever.
Yeah.
So everything comes down to food, power, and energy. And there's nothing wrong with growing your own food, teaching other people. And then if something were to go down, hey, you got eggs, somebody else has got cows, I've got vegetables.
Yep.
And we all share and we all work together.
It brings people together.
Yeah.
If you are a believer, it gives you a chance to minister and get closer with your community, and to tell people about what really makes us grow.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think it's very, very important. Thank you for being here today. Again, a land of delight, right?
.com. Yes, a land of delight.
I usually hitch up on Facebook, and we're just excited. We're going to come back and visit the farm again soon, and we're going to work on a couple projects for a piece of land that I have.
Wow.
To have you do some stuff for us. So I think we're at a time again, like I said in the beginning, where in our culture here, that now's the time to become healthier, be more independent, and to be able to spread and share with your family, friends, and those around.
And I want to encourage everybody, there's no person that can't do this. Yeah. It is so fun, and you can learn. I have no experience, and I did it, and now I'm teaching other people. So if I can do it, you can do it.
Amen. Well, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Love you, brother.
And love you too.
And thank you for joining us today. Again, free gift. Go to their website. Go to their Facebook page or Instagram. Check them out. I've done it. I can vouch for them. You need to do the same thing. We'll see you on the next episode of Re-Establishment.
With Kingdom Business Network, your business becomes a beacon of hope and transformation, contributing to a legacy of global impact. Join us at Kingdom Business Network and be a part of a movement that transcends borders and industries. Discover how you can join today at kingdombusinessnetwork.com and start your local chapter today.